Does anything about the Dallas Cowboys scare you heading into their matchup with the Commanders this weekend?
Yes. I can list.
What scares you?
If I was a paranoid guy, or if I was a coach, this is what I would highlight to the guys.
Okay.
First of all, Micah Parsons has been in the conversation for like defensive player of the year the last few years. He's been banged up this year, but he's back. He had 2 sacks last week in limited action, right? Maybe didn't do anything last night, but
all right, so that's,
he's still Micah Parsons.
One potential concern.
They have CD Lamb, who, even though he may be banged up, he had basically 100 yards, 8 catches last week, 12 targets. Did you see Kevontae Turpin? Did you see him take off that kind of speed?
Who's going to cover Kevontae Turpin. Yes,
that guy's got speed.
He does, but he's
you got to account for him.
He's mainly a special teams player, and now Dallas is the point of their season, which has crumbled, where they're just trying anything. So, to me, that's more of a one-off than anything.
To answer your question, Cakes, it is a layup. And if you want to chime in, 800-636-1067. If you look at the team statistically, they're giving up 29.3 points per game. That's 31st in the league. They're a bottom-tier team scoring. They only score 18.7 points per game. They cannot run the football.
No, that's a huge problem.
Zeke, he's terrible. Dowdle, 10 carries for 28 yards yesterday. They're 31st in the league in terms of rushing yards. Individual players, sure, they've got a couple of individual players who are talented, like CD Lamb and Micah Parsons. And yeah, Turpin looked super fast yesterday. But overall, that team is in a death spiral. We talked about this earlier. They might go to Trey Lance because,
what do you have to lose at this point?
Cooper Rush is 30,
right?
At
least see what Trey Lance can do when he's given a start in a full game. Now, could he faceplant against an improving Commanders defense? Sure, but again, you're 3-7. You're not going anywhere.
You look at these last 5 losses; they got absolutely destroyed. Obliterated by the Lions, 47-9. Had kind of a close game against the Niners, 30-24. Falcons game was close, 27-21. But the last 2 weeks, Eagles, Texans, 34-6, 34-10.
The trend, the common thread there is those are Cooper Rush starts.
Well, it's not changing unless it goes to Trey Lance.
They literally have no chance of competing and or winning a game if Cooper Rush starts a game.
So yes, it is a layup.
2-game sample size.
Historically, this team has lost layups, but this is supposed to be a different regime, a different time with Jaden Daniels, with Dan Quinn, with Cliff Kingsbury, Joe Witt. It's supposed to be different. So it should be a decisive win for Washington.
Dallas has been outscored by 106 points. The only 2 teams that are worse, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Carolina Panthers. That's it.
It's kind of amazing. It's still an NFC East rival. Well, I remember years where we've been horrible and we pulled off upsets. I just don't think it's a layup. It might be an easy free throw.
Crazy thing is,
I don't think it's a layup.
Crazy thing is, that team won the division last year.
May not be a layup, but to me, it's like a 4-foot bunny in the lane. Like it's not a dunk or a layup, but it's
maybe like a
damn
short
close.
Jump hook or something.
It's like a putback.
All right, let's go.
Rebound putback.
Let's go to the phones. 800-636-1067. Let's go to Michael in Annapolis. Michael, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junkies.
I am 100% in alignment with you on what makes me nervous are 2 things. The 1-15 season when Dallas beat us once. I know that we should dominate this game, but until I see it regularly from this team putting down hard the teams they should put down, I'm nervous. And I'm also nervous about
hold on, Michael, before you make your next point. You're telling me you're actually nervous because of something didn't that happen in 1989?
Yeah, but there are other instances.
Okay, that's so long ago.
Well, you lost to Tommy DeVito last year.
You said it was impossible. You said it was impossible.
No. Here's the problem. I was betting on a Ron-led team.
Right, that's what I said. It should be different.
That was dumb of me to do that.
It should be different.
This is a way different product.
It should
Better
be
leadership.
Different. One thing about the Cowboys, they got blasted last night 34-10. But if you actually look at some of the statistics, they were within 3 yards of the Texans. It was 391 to 388. Now you can argue garbage yards, whatever. 14 of the points for the Texans was late. You had the missed Aubrey field goal. Should have been 17-13 at the half. It was just 3-0 in the third quarter. So, it was maybe closer than it looks like. Because when you see 34-10, and you just say, well, that's just a blowout. They actually had more first downs than the Texans last night.
I don't care about any of those. I don't care about any of those stats that you're regurgitating to me, because that game was completely dominated by the Houston Texans.
All right, so here's my other point.
You're still on?
Jaden was not protected well last week. And with those ribs, Micah Parsons is scaring the hell out of me. That, strip sack, fumble, TD, and all of a sudden they have hope, and Jaden's down, and we're Mariota-based. And that's just making me nervous. That O-line better be on point and double-team him all night long.
All right, well, if Micah Parsons goes from one tackle in the box score this past weekend.
Well, you don't think he's capable?
He's capable, but
you're writing off Micah Parsons?
For this upcoming weekend, I don't see him going from making one tackle in a blowout to all of a sudden being a demon that has 8 or 9 tackles and 2 sacks and a strip sack fumble.
So do you think he's lost it?
I just think he's making his way back from an injury, and he's not close to 100%.
Right. He had 2 sacks the game before.
It's fine.
What was that? Just fluky?
You know what I am? A non-believer in the Dallas Cowboys,
right,
as they're currently constructed.
I don't think Micah's a
Top
big
down,
tackles guy generally.
Yeah, a lot of those guys.
He's not a big tackles guy like last year.
You know what? He wasn't a big sacks guy last night either.
Oh, I'm just saying last year, 17 games.
You guys can
They played full combat. He only had 64 tackles.
You guys want to glaze Micah Parsons all day? Go right ahead.
I'm
just telling you,
a fearsome player.
I don't think he's going to have a huge impact on this weekend's game.
He may not, but he's a freaking great player. Still, he's probably under 25.
He's a great player when he's at
under
100%.
25. It's not like he's 30.
He's 25.
He's 25 years old. You're writing him off like he's ancient.
I'm writing him off for this week. Now, if he goes out and has 3 sacks and is a game changer, a game record, then I'll have egg on my face.
All right, let's go to Chris.
It won't be the first time.
In Manassas. Chris, what's up? It's so dangerous, the game you're playing. Chris.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm going to take Micah Parsons for 5 sacks.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay, you do
I'm
that.
a Commanders fan.
You go ahead and do that. You're going to be a big loser at the end of the day if you do that.
You're just betting against cakes, right?
Hey, by the way, on Monday, didn't you admit that you benched you're the fantasy guru? Didn't you admit that you benched a whole bunch of players and they got you 3 points or minus 7 points, and the other guys 75 points?
You're correct. I'm trying to compartmentalize that. I made a lineup error. It cost me a game. It cost me a matchup.
What was it? You benched Taysom Hill?
Guru.
I benched Taysom Hill for TJ Hawkinson, TJ Nubbinson. It didn't work out well. I played Taysom in one league.
I knew as soon as you said that about Ovechkin yesterday, he was going down.
Oh, I'm so sure. I'm so sure you knew
I'm
that.
sure.
Looking back at his body of work over 20 seasons, where he's missed a total of 35 games
you're the biggest
due to injury, he never gets
injured.
I'm sure that you knew that.
You're the biggest mush of all time, and you know it.
All right, thank you,
How
Chris.
dare you, sir? God, I'm praying that Ovi's day to day and not week to week.
I like that Cakes is
confident.
This confident about a game, not necessarily about players' health, but in terms of games. I love this. I love this bravado.
I've never been more confident for the Commanders to beat the Dallas Cowboys than I am for them to beat this iteration that's coming in. This weekend.
Were you just as confident against Tommy DeVito?
Of course he was.
I was pretty confident. Confidence was high. I agreed to take a marinara bath because that Goomba came in and beat Ron's team.
He said he did the old, he loves to say it's physically impossible. He did the physically impossible
this week.
Hey, I know. I'm saying that you did that for Tommy DeVito. It was physically impossible for Tommy DeVito.
What if we bring will you ride a mechanical bull in here? If you
that's butt funny.
Sure,
Dallas wins.
I've always kind of wanted to try my hand at a mechanical bull.
You got to wear a thong and ride a mechanical bull.
We can't even get an omelet maker in the break room. You think we're gonna get a mechanical bull out here where all the cubicles are?
Do you know that there's definitely a subgenre on YouTube of Brazilian girls in thongs riding mechanical bulls.
I'm guessing you've seen that.
Your algorithm is so tainted.
It showed up
You have
on
the
my thing.
horniest algorittom.
It
Just showed up out of nowhere.
Yep. I swear.
Somehow
You think I typed
my
that in?
algorithm.
You think I typed that in?
Yeah, what did you search?
I don't know. It was right next to chiropractor
Big
videos.
butt bull. Hey, if you're searching bull, you got some shady searches.
All right, let's go to JT in Centerville. JT, what's up?
Hey, good morning, Junks. What's that?
What's up?
JT.
Hey, listen, man. Couple things. First of all, I ain't scared of nothing about this version of Dallas. Secondly, all these fans is calling in. They're afraid of this, afraid of that. They ain't lived the last 35 years. Everybody must be under 30 that's calling your show. They winning. We're going to get a W. It might be 1 point. I don't care. 1 point is enough. Not only, everybody's talking about Michael Parsons, this and that. The Cowboys suck. They sucked at the beginning of the season. They suck now. My 11-year-old son calls games better than anybody I know. And he told me the Cowboys are the worst team in the league this year.
He should tell you you have a bubbly sounding phone. I don't know. Like, are you calling from an aquarium? What is happening?
The Cowboys suck as much as his phone.
Well, the one thing that is true is that this is what the Skins do. They actually had this year, and this is what you're supposed to do. They've been beating up on the bad teams.
Right.
So if that trend continues, we should be fine.
Now, totally different team, totally different season. But last year, the Cowboys pretty much pounded the Commanders 45-10 and 38-10.
Well, I'm guessing that
So
I'm guessing both of those games they had Dak Prescott under center for that game.
Pretty confident.
And their defense wasn't a shell of its former self.
It was Dak Prescott.
You know
and
that-
it was also Sam Howell.
Right.
You know that Cooper Rush threw for like 354 yards last night. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but most
Doesn't
people say he
faze
didn't.
me one bit.
He didn't play.
Doesn't
He didn't play
doesn't
well.
shatter
I'm not saying
my
he played
confidence one iota.
But if he throws for 354 against us, I don't think that bodes well.
He's
Might
not,
have Marshawn Lattimore.
he's not
EB.
throwing. You know what? It's impossible to throw for 354 when you're nailed to the bench because Mike McCarthy, that big oaf, is going to say, Trey Lance, go out and try to save our season.
Trey Lance.
Hey, wouldn't it be so fitting
If
if Trey Lance came in
had an amazing game,
yeah, and Cakes is the Trey Lance truther. He's always has been.
I'd be very conflicted.
And then he comes in and then beats the Commanders, and then Cakes has to ride the bull in his thong.
No, I never agreed to a thong. You're just throwing that in. It's physically impossible for the number 2 overall pick, Jaden Daniels, okay, stud, to be beaten by an also-ran number 3rd stringer, the guy I used to wave the flag for, and I'm embarrassed about it, Trey Lance. It will never happen.
Do you know
on his home field? Never will happen. I'm doubling down on it, Valdez. I don't care. I don't care if it's a negative count I'm betting into. I'm doubling down. All the chips are going in. What do I have to lose? Everybody hates me already. I said, Ovi never gets injured. He goes out and gets injured. Or, sorry, hurt. Hopefully he got hurt, not injured.
Against Houston, in his rookie year, he was 16 to 23. He completed 70% of his passes, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Talking about Trey
quarterback rating of 116. So he's actually done it before. He's actually had a good game
Okay,
before.
that's fine. Everybody has an outlier good game here and there.
Right.
He sucks.
I agree.
He can't beat out Cooper Rush. I know he sucks if he can't beat out the dude that was on display last night. And he ain't beating the Commanders here this weekend. Whatever quarterback comes out and plays for the Cowboys, not beating the Commanders this weekend at home.
Whew. All right.
There you have it.
You know what to do, people.
Fade me.
All your books.
Fade me at your peril. Go ahead. Load up on the Cowboys. I freaking dare you to do it. I'm daring you. All of you out there.